and welcome back to some climbing news. Lots of cool stuff going on in the climbing world. As always, we've got 17-year-old Pepa Sindel sending Wolfgang Gulich's world famous Action Directe, some hard flashes out of Rocklands, an absolutely ridiculous TB2 session that I just can't not talk about, a look at the Chamonix World Cup, and more. So as always, don't forget to give a like, subscribe if you're enjoying these climbing world news updates, and yeah, let's get the show started. And starting us off today, Andrew Nimmer is on an absolute tear over in Rocklands. Dude just flashed 2 more 8B boulders on top of his flash of Sky 8B/V13 from last week. Andrew Nimmer is usually a sport climber as far as I can tell. His hardest boulder grade is 8B+/V14. But I mean, dude, like, maybe consider hanging up the ropes, because this is not a bad showing, like, at all. His 2 flashed boulders this week, the guest list 8B/V13 and the uber famous Fred Nicole FA Amandla 8B+, which he seems to believe is too soft for the grade. I mean, like, of course he thinks that. His hardest boulder send is 8B+. There's no way you're gonna think you can flash your hardest boulder grade. That's insane. But hey, maybe it isn't, and he's just super strong and hasn't bouldered in a while. I don't know. Andrew says he's looking forward to getting on some harder stuff he wants to project, including Book Club 8B+/V14 and Monkey Wedding 8C/V15. I'm going to put up a link to a video of Katie Lamb doing Book Club in the description, also right there, because why not? Highly recommend checking that out. It's pretty cool. I mean, zero wonder why Andrew would want to get on that thing. And speaking of hard Rocklands flashes, Nicolai Uznik was right there with Andrew Nimmer, flashing Amandla first, and also being the first of the 2 to suggest a downgrade from 8B+ to 8B. And look, like I said in my Yannick Floe breakdown, it's easy to undergrade on a flash go. In fact, I think there's a tendency to think that anything you can flash is generally soft, unless we're talking about something like very below your normal level. It's a confidence thing, right? If I can send most V7s in 3 to 4 goes and then I flash one, I'm much more likely to think it's soft instead of that, I don't know, that just happens to personally suit my style perfectly. All this to say, who knows, right? Will these 2 8B suggestions change the consensus from 8B+? It's a pretty well-established climb at that grade, so I mean, probably not until we get more and more people suggesting that downgrade. He did do a little bit of a beta change, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens. I'd love to know your thoughts on grading a flash in the comments below, though, for sure. And then back to the northern hemisphere of the world, unless you're like a flat earther, in which case there's nothing I can do for you. Get help, seriously. But Hyunbin Min has just managed a send of Forgotten Gem 8C in Quironico, Switzerland. It took him a couple of sessions, which should really put into perspective how ridiculous it is that Nicolai Uznik managed to do this thing in 2 goes. I mean, it's just crazy. Hyunbin Min has been in Magic Wood for a while now, just collecting all the strawberries. That makes no sense to you. Don't worry about it. He set new baseline and admitted that he kind of misjudged the season, stating that Magic Wood and Switzerland at this point are just too hot. And yet, doesn't seem to matter. I mean, sending freaking 8C/V15 during the day in July while climbing on granite seems stupid to me. It's like, it's not even something I'd personally consider for a second, to like, even on stuff that's below my limit, but yeah, I guess to each their own. Congratulations to Hyunbin Min for his send, and yeah, if you want, you know, if you're kind of curious, the strawberries thing is it's from an old Magic Wood guide that the best climbs were given strawberries instead of you know, stars. But hey, before we move on to the next section, just a question for you guys. What's the hottest and coldest you're willing to climb outdoors? Kind of curious. And then on to Pepa Sindel, who just sent Wolfgang Gulich's Action Directe 9A/514D. And I mean, okay, if you're a climber, don't know what Action Directe or Action Directe is, it's something you really need to fix. One of the world's first ever 9A routes, sent back in 1991 by legendary climber Wolfgang Gulich, who literally invented the campus board in order to train for this thing. And honestly, it's pretty insane how much climbing has progressed. Like, back when Wolfgang was trying Action Directe, people were like super sure it was completely outside the realm of human potential. And now we've got literal children, like 17-year-olds doing it in 9 days and about 25 tries. Like, not trying to crap all over Pepa. He's stronger than I will probably ever be. It's just, it's insane how much this sport has actually grown. I don't know. Anyone here want to maybe throw out a grade that they think will be the absolute limit? Like 10A or something? 10B? Insane to think that could be a thing. But honestly, I mean, thinking about it, if we have routes with 8C boulders in the middle of them, like Silence, and we have people like Hamish MacArthur who are capable of sending 9A in literally 3 hours, man, I don't know. 10 years from now, people will be flashing 8C/V15 boulders the way 8B boulders are flashed today. Like, still newsworthy, just not necessarily surprising. And that's just crazy to me. But anyways, massive congrats to Pepa on one of the more special ascents our sport has to offer, at least historically speaking. This kid's gonna go places for sure. Like I said, dude's only 17, and he's already sent 2 9A plus routes and 9 9As. Gonna be cool to watch him develop. And then let's talk Loic Zehani, who just got the FA of a route he's called the Comeback, a 9A plus in the Gargantua cave in France. And the Comeback, honestly, that's a great name, because just in case you weren't aware, this dude's been dealing with a complete ligament tear in his ankle for the past month, and yeah, I'd love to be able to give more information on how and why it happened, but his Instagram and social media is set to private, so I can't. No idea why that happened, no idea how he's doing, or, I mean, clearly the guy's doing well if he can freaking send 9A plus/515A on a busted ankle, but still, like, come on, dude, a little less privacy, I say. Completely hypocritically. Honestly, who cares? The guy can do what he wants. It's terrible for me, but probably good for him. So all I can really do is say congrats, best of luck with recovery, even though you clearly are freaking fine. And yeah, I'm not, you know, I'm pissed. I can't get any more info. It's fine. I just look stupid. It's fine. It's fine. The comeback. It's I don't even know what it looks like. Dude said a bunch of stuff about how this links some routes into other routes and into more of them, but I mean, I can't even find these routes either. So this segment is awful. Completely my fault, by the way. I'm gonna move on now. Okay, this is awkward. Stop feeding bears. That's right, stop feeding bears. That's probably what a bunch of people up in Squamish are probably thinking right now. Lots of boulders have been closed this week and will remain closed for the next day or so because there's a food conditioned bear in the area, which, I mean, do I really need to explain why? Yeah, I probably do. Okay, so bears are this thing. They're big animals, they're strong, they look like they could be your friend, but they absolutely are not. And they're always hungry and can smell real good, but they're also kind of shy, like in general when it comes to people, unless they learn that people have food, in which case they become total extroverts and start hanging out around us. The problem is we're squishy, and bears have sharp claws and teeth, and when that and people meet, it's, you know, not good. All this to say, stop feeding bears, because more often than not, it doesn't actually lead to climbing closures and all that. It leads to the bear itself being killed, which sucks, mostly for the bear, but also for anyone that cares about them, like, you know, the environment. So what I'm trying to say is good on Squamish for closing the boulders, bad on people for not knowing how to act around bears in bear country. Anyways, all this impacts the Grand Wall boulders as well as the North Wall. Map is in the description, also links to everything down below. If you're in Squamish, take care of yourself, don't go bouldering where the park is recommending you don't, and yeah, just wait a little bit for some news. Things will open up in theory on July 16th, which is tomorrow, if you're watching this on the day I published, in theory. Follow Squamish Instagram for any updates. I will keep people posted if anything weird happens. And moving on away from the bears and to the great indoors, where true underground board lord Ben Kim just had a mega session. Now, I don't usually talk about Instagram sends in general, but this is another level. Like, if this kid isn't featured in the next Board Lord episodes, I mean, maybe it's just Michael and Quinn from Tension are too scared to have him on because he'll just flash whatever problems they said. And yeah, that's absolutely me hoping they see this and get pissed enough that they feel like they gotta prove me wrong. I bet you guys can't set anything hard enough for him. I bet you can't. You know what? I will go on another rant like I did with the 8C Flash and will this into existence. I am not kidding. I'm kind of kidding. I'm sure they do a great job with whatever they end up setting, but also, you know, good luck, guys. Because this kid is just outrageously strong. I mean, just, I honestly can't even comprehend what I'm seeing whenever I watch his stuff. The session in question, this dude did 9 V13/8B boulders on the TB2, 3 flashes, 3 second go sends, 1 third go send, 1 fourth go send, 1 fifth go send. Got 2 V12s, 1 flash and another third go. And he called everything soft. I mean, this dude did 10,000 days on his second go. That thing was featured in the first Board Lords video. We got a full episode of Ben Burkhalter, Zach Gala, and Noah freaking Wheeler trying this thing. Go watch that. It'll put things into perspective, how ridiculous this session and this kid is. Like, okay, I thought seeing Jimmy Webb flash Roses and Blue Jays was impressive. And if you don't know, Roses and Blue Jays is a V13 in Great Barrington, Massachusetts. Jimmy flashed it. It was cool. It was one of the more impressive things I've seen in my life. I wish I could show you, but the video's been deleted for some reason. Maybe because Jimmy didn't have a beard then. Like, you know, he was still cool. He was still Jimmy Webb, but beardless Jimmy Webb hits different. There's something missing if you have, like, the bowl cut works when there's a beard. Without it, it just looked, I don't know. It's still Jimmy though. Like, he can do whatever he wants. Doesn't really fucking matter. You know, or maybe it's because it was from back when he was sponsored by 510 and Tenaya wasn't having it. Or, you know, maybe Melo's gonna do a re-release. That would actually rule. But not the point. The point is Jimmy Webb might have flashed Roses and Blue Jays, but Ben Kim campused it.
Yeah.
So good, dude. Come on.
Come on, Ben. Yep.
Yes,
Come on,
Ben.
Ben.
Come on.
Yeah. Come on, Ben.
Come on. Come on.
Yeah!
Let's go.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyone out there climbing V13 thinking no one can campus your project anymore? It's Ben, dude. Careful. Like, he's out there. He's really out there. He'll find you. He'll come get you. But yeah, man, I don't know. Kids are crazy these days, and he definitely deserves a Board Lords. I can't wait to see that. That's gonna be amazing. I cannot wait. Was that enough of a rant? Maybe that'll be enough. Watch Tension announce this tomorrow. And on to the Lead World Cup that was held over the weekend in Chamonix to a record-breaking crowd. I mean, we're talking big. At least for climbing. Like, that's a lot of people for climbing. But let's get this recap started, beginning with the men. But before we talk about the finals, a couple people I definitely need to mention who did not make it past the semis, notably Yannick Floe, fresh out of an 8C boulder flash, just couldn't get his confidence up enough and found himself in 10th place. Following him, Stefano Gastolfi in 11th, making, at least in my eyes, a rare comp appearance. More big names were kept out of the finals. Jesse Grouper in 14th, Alex Meglos in 17th, and Toby Roberts, who managed to get the gold in last World Cup, coming in at 20th. But moving on to the finals, this was a really well set route in my opinion, really helped create a lot of separation between the climbers, a big stopper, last move dyno at the end that held everyone in check, who managed to get there, except for one dude, who we will get to, of course. But first, let's talk 8th place, Shion Omada, who fell off a big pink slopey volume that looked insanely slick, must have been super humid. Luca Potokar in 7th, whose height kind of worked against him this time, just unable to keep himself from slipping off that same pink volume I mentioned, unable to manage the necessary mantle. Definitely would have bucked me too. I am not flexible, like, at all. And speaking of disgusting things that I cannot do, monos. Yeah, The setters put on some like half pad mono holds that would have just completely destroyed my tendons. It really just reminded me why I'm not a professional climber. Just listen to Matt Cron's reaction.
This foot wasn't stable enough.
Every time I see this shot, I'm just disgusted. It's just...
Yeah, disgusting. But those monos didn't really stop anyone else, with Jonas Utelli, Colin Duffy, and Satone Yoshida, who came in 6th, 5th, and 4th respectively, falling in what I'd like to call the camo section. Because can we all just agree that black holds on black volumes is kind of a dick thing to do? Like, my home gym has a section of wall that's black and it's a cave, and the setters love hiding tiny footholds everywhere in there, and I hate it, and it's annoying. And yes, that comes from someone who prefers climbing outside where everything is colored the same. I'm aware of the seeming self-contradiction, but it's different. Outside it's expected. Indoors you're looking for rainbows. Different. Anyways, the podium. So Italy's Philip Schenk and Spain's Alberto Ginet Lope both managed to get past the camo stuff, and they both fell in the same place, jumping to this big pink hole jug thing that looks like a jug, but if you've been climbing for long enough, you know actually it isn't one at all. I mean, look at it, just look at it. It's slopey as all hell, the thing will spit you right out. But since Alberto did better in the semis, he got the silver medal, while Philippe had to settle for bronze, which, I mean, you know, quote unquote settle, right? Like, it's still insanely good to podium in one of these competitions. It was his first lead medal too, by the way, which is really cool stuff, and congratulations to him. And then, of course, Sorato Anraku just continuing his absolutely bonkers season with yet another gold medal to add to the trophy room he's probably gonna have to get himself soon. If climbers made money, he'd get himself. It's probably more gonna be like a trophy closet, will be more realistic, but still, point stands. Dude is killing it. Only one of the men to top the route. Amazing showing. Huge congratulations. Let's move on to the women. And a route that featured some pretty spicy feet first stuff. Let's talk 8th place, where just a little bit of hesitation on a pretty big dynamic move knocked out Natsuki Tani a little earlier than expected. And then in 7th place, Sheila Mathia Martin getting past that same big move, but unfortunately messing up the sequence on that feet first section, which unfortunately ended her first ever finals appearance. That's a lot of times I said the word first. Rounding out 6th and 5th place, both French teammates Zelia Avezou and Camille Pouget, who coincidentally fell at pretty much the same spot. Zelia getting spit out of the route while trying to unwind a pretty deep drop knee. Who hasn't had that happen to them? And Camille falling a move later when she couldn't control a pretty terrible looking crimp / volume pinch thing, a hold type which I personally really kind of love. Next, and in 4th place, the return of Brooke Raboutou, who was looking strong as ever. Definitely miss seeing her climb. She's so powerful, her technique is ridiculous. I don't know, this is something that I just love about her style. It's like strong but casual, if that makes any sense. She was knocked out by some slopers. Looks like she kind of just slipped right out of them. Pretty sure I've climbed and used those holds often, and they get really bad with a little bit of humidity. It's terrible. But hey, you know, 4th place, really not that bad for your first comp after a hiatus, so can't complain. And on to the podium, Erin McBeast being a beast as always and managing bronze. She was looking pretty gassed on the same slopers that took Brooke out, but just managed to get past enough of them to try and hit a really gross looking slopey crimp she ended up falling on. In silver, Annie Sanders putting on an amazing show, super strong and steady. She managed to control the same crimp that took out the beast, but ultimately fell on the following move as she tried to reach the next Gaston. And finally, the gold for Chae Yun-seo, who did manage the Gaston. I honestly don't know how, like, everything on that part of the route looked absolutely disgusting. Even worse is the fact that after this Gaston, she had to do like a kind of big throw looking thing to what was probably a mono, which is just, I mean, that's just cruel. It's insanity. Who even comes up with something like that? Doesn't matter, ultimately, because she won the comp, so massive, massive, massive congratulations to her. Really well-deserved podium. But that was some climbing news. Thanks again, and as always, for watching. Let me know in the comments if there's anything else you'd like me to cover, would like me to talk about, would like me to maybe even highlight. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Helps the algorithm know you're liking all this stuff I'm doing. I will see you guys again for the normal show on Friday. And in the meantime, of course, and as always, climb some stuff.